Good morning, Lincoln and Logan County, and all you onliners. This is the Cheap Seats, downtown Lincoln. We're located in front of Corey Leonard Shelter Insurance today at 511 Pulaski Street, downtown Lincoln. As Corey Leonard and Jim Grimaldi, criminal defense attorney, prepare their barbecue entrees for the Up in Smoke on the Square contest. Good luck to Corey Leonard and Jim Grimaldi's crew. We have a special guest today, Mr. Kirby. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Fantastic. Taking a little set in here for Mr. Comnick.
Yeah.
He was on assignment today, by the way.
Yeah, I got the call at the beginning of the week, see if I could fill in. I'd like to thank you guys for having me on here.
Absolutely. We were talking a little bit earlier, just going to jump right into it, guys. We were talking a little bit earlier about some youth football, and you've had a early experiences early in the year.
It's been a rough past couple of weeks. I coached Lincoln Youth Football out of Eaton Fields, coached 7th and 8th graders. My youngest son plays on the 8th grade team. We were in Mount Zion a week ago Wednesday at our first game, and he had a little injury, well, I guess a big injury. He got tackled as he was throwing a pass, hit the ground, dislocated and fractured his hip, and had surgery Wednesday to put a plate and some pins and a couple of screws in there to hold that in place. Now he's on the road to recovery. He's probably one of the toughest kids I've ever seen, and I just found that out a couple of days ago. After his surgery, he's pretty resilient. He's bound and determined to get back on the basketball court. So hopefully he's a fast healer. I told him I gave him a shout out today. He's supposed to be home watching, listening. So hopefully he can heal fast, get back on his feet.
Absolutely. And what's his first name?
Bryson.
Bryson.
Yep, Bryson Kirby.
Very nice.
Yep. So,
well, good luck, Bryson. Absolutely. I mean, man, can you imagine?
I can't.
I'll be honest, I can't. I've had a lot of injuries in my day, but something to my, basically my lower body, that would have been catastrophic for me.
If I stub a toe, I don't want to move.
Exactly right.
This kid's up, a day after surgery.
And he's not in a wheelchair.
Not in a wheelchair.
Anything like that.
Nope, he's on crutches. I just can't put any pressure on it.
Okay.
But
they want him up and moving around, healing.
They want him up moving, and they don't let you lay around and rest anymore after surgery these days. They want you up and getting the blood flowing. And
we were chatting about it with these fields, especially JFL. They're not going to have a lot of extra attention to them, even compared to the high school fields, who's not going to be able to have a lot of attention to them either. But that ground's so hard.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have to think there has to be quite a few injuries going on and stuff like that, just for the fact that if you fall, it's like falling on concrete.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. We were in the hospital in Decatur that Wednesday, and there was 4 other kids in there at the same time with injuries, football injuries.
Yeah.
And it's been, especially Central Illinois, the Midwest, with our drought we're having, it's been a pretty high topic, as far as field play goes, how hard the ground is. And a lot of places they're on water bans right now. They can't water their fields. They can't they can't do anything, trying to preserve water. So yeah, these fields are like playing on concrete, and it's a shame, because it's a great sport. I love the sport. But right now, it's a dangerous sport
right now, is it? Yeah. I mean, it's almost like playing, dead of winter when it's frozen. You just can't do anything about it. It's going to be a hard surface to land on.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, and so often, and in your case, your son's case, it was an awkward fall. I mean, it wasn't just oh, he got tackled and now he's down. It's not that. It's the awkward landing. And when you land like that, you can't brace yourself. There's just no way to do it. And
there's no give.
And accidents happen. I mean, we all know that. That's kind of the best part about sports is, you're into it for what can happen, as opposed to what may happen, What we got on the docket today, I believe we have the mayor stepping in here today. Downtown Lincoln is a buzz. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm pulling up here, and I'm struggling to find a place to park.
Oh, yeah.
Great problem to have this early in the morning. I mean, we're talking just after 9 o'clock, and downtown's packed. You got families walking around down here. Barbecue cook-offs going on. It smells absolutely beautiful. I mean, this is awesome.
My mouth is watering. I might have a little trouble with my speech today just because the aroma. It's amazing.
It's like you're tripping over your own tongue because of the smells in here, man. It's unbelievable. Just a great thing they got going on here, and I don't know the numbers, to be honest, but it definitely looks like it has expanded, by about twofold compared to last year, which is awesome. And you can tell the different setups they got. There's some guys that have done this at least, I would say, at least twice.
Oh, at least, or they're borrowing somebody's equipment.
I was going to say either that, or they thought the only way to get into barbecuing is to buy this big equipment from some other guy that's retiring or something. So
watch a lot of it on Food Network. They do a lot of these down in Texas and the setups they have, and you look around and it looks like some of these guys could compete down there just with the setups they have.
A few of them do actually.
Yeah.
And but the great thing about barbecuing, unlike sports and whatnot, well, I mean, you got to put your practice in and whatnot, but anybody can compete. It's all about how the final product comes out. It doesn't matter how fancy your rig is or anything else. You can show up with just a garbage pail or something,
right,
rig it up, and you can actually compete very well with anybody if you know your craft.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, we are down here, downtown Lincoln, here in front of Corey Leonard Shelter Insurance. Just having a good time today, guys.
It's the best time of the season, I think. My wife will beg to differ. It is football season. High school season, kicked off last night. And just the atmosphere down here gives you something to talk about. It's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. And we're hoping to have the coach on later today. Lincoln last night in their opener did drop the first game to Jacksonville. Score is not really as important as what it sometimes is, but Lincoln's playing hard. And Coach Max doing what he can. He's trying to get them ready, and I think it's a numbers game. Yeah, I'll be honest.
Lincoln's numbers, they don't have the kids to go out like most schools do, like your Sacred Hearts, your Chathams, where they have
to be
100
honest,
kids.
I've talked to a couple other schools, including Pontiac and a couple others. Their numbers are way down.
Yeah,
and the coaches are saying it has a lot to do with the summer, with the heat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them didn't want to get out for 7-on-7s. They didn't want to get out for the pre-practice schedule. And then when the practice schedule came around, they're so out of shape, they don't want to play.
Right. And Lincoln's in probably one of the toughest conferences in the state. Central State 8, hands down, you got Sacred Heart, Griffin, Chatham.
Rochester.
Springfield High School is going to be good this year.
Lanphier.
And Jacksonville's a really good football team. They're expecting a
will be
lot
real
from
tough
them.
This year, yeah.
So, being in that kind of conference, the score might not show it, but as long as these kids go out every night and compete and get better, and they do have a young team, and they just have to build on and go out every night and just, do what they can.
Yep. A lot of playing on both sides of the ball, unfortunately. And when you have that, especially with bigger guys, and we do have some big kids on our team. When you get that against quicker teams, especially Jacksonville's not only big, but they're fast too. We just, you tend to get worn down a little bit, and unfortunately that can reflect at the end. So the coach is getting them prepared and getting them to compete, and that's pretty important. So.
It is their first game of the year, so it'll give them something to work on at next practice. They practice for 2 or 3 weeks before the first game, and you don't know what they need to work on. You don't know, what their strengths, what their weaknesses are. So this will give them something to kind of work on to see what they need to fix.
Absolutely, and we actually we have a special guest showing up here, Mr. Mayor.
I don't know how special, but yeah. Hi, Jake.
How we doing?
Good.
I'm guessing you're judging today, or are you still an alternate?
I think, as far as I know, I'm still alternate. I'll find out a little bit later. So.
All right. So, as an alternate, are you sampling a lot?
Not yet, no.
Is that part of the process? You actually get to dive in?
Well, I think if I'm an alternate, I'm hanging out in the back seeing what's left over.
Oh, okay. Well, leftovers might be pretty good.
That's right.
I'm not gonna lie.
How does one become a judge for this?
You have to take a class, actually.
Oh, really?
It's a morning class. They conducted one here in Lincoln about just a little over a year ago, to get kind of a cadre of judges for the barbecue festival. So I think if anybody's out and about, probably within 6 or 8 blocks of downtown, they're going to smell it.
Oh yeah,
because I smelled it at my house, and it smells great down here. And just want to invite everybody to come down here to see you guys on the air, but also visit visit the barbecue contest that's going on. There's craft fair over at Scully Park, and the art fair is going to open up about 10 o'clock in Latham Park. So we got lots going on downtown.
What a great atmosphere for Lincoln. I mean, not only just here, last night, opening football game.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and all the festivities go on with that. The parade yesterday. I mean, we've got all this. We're going to have the wine tent later tonight. I mean, what a great atmosphere for downtown Lincoln. Do you know the numbers of the barbecuers that are here? Has it expanded as much as what I'm thinking? It looks like twice over. But
yeah, last year I think they had around 35 maybe. I think there's 45 this year.
Oh, wow. So we're almost capacity then.
Yeah, 50's capacity. So
wow.
I'm sure they're going to be looking to add more spots if they can next year. So
yeah, absolutely. They're going, what are they doing? They're coming down this Pulaski Street, going down Pulaski and McLean over here?
Pulaski and McLean, yeah.
Okay.
Plus they're in some parking lots. They're in the Farm Bureau parking lot and the old Decker Shoe lot and then the old Rao Auto lot. They're located in there too. So
we've got them set up all over the place.
We do.
You know, it's really nice. What are you wanting to see also this weekend for yourself and your family? You got any big plans or anything?
Well, my wife's going to come down. I don't know that we're going to have the time to stroll through the art fair, but we'll get there tomorrow and look around. So I'm kind of booked up today from 9:30 to 9:30.
There you go.
It's a long day.
It's a long day, but it's a great day.
A lot of shaking hands, kissing babies.
Oh yeah, they don't let me close to the babies, but.
Not anymore.
What kind of impact does this, I mean, not only just the barbecue cook-off, but the Balloon and Art Festival, what kind of impact does that give the community for Lincoln?
It's a huge impact because if you talk to any of the businesses, particularly downtown, even out out on the west side, they'll talk about this maybe being one of their best weekends all year. And when you figure into Christmas season and everything like that, just the number of people it brings from the outside is phenomenal. You walk around and you see, it's nice to see people that you don't know. Lincoln's kind of a big, small town, and you see people all the time. But to see the folks walking in the streets and everywhere, and they're from out of town, and it gives you a great feeling that they're here checking us out and spending their dollars here.
Yeah, I think last year out of the furniture store, we had about 35 newbies, new people that came to the community, non-Lincoln people on Balloon Fest weekend. So, and we were only open on Saturday last year. So this year, who knows? Saturday with Sunday. Sunday doesn't seem like there's quite as much going on in the middle of the day. So we might expand on that by quite a bit this year. So.
Sure. It's a huge impact. I know the chamber has always wanted to do actually a study to find out the specific dollars, and one of these years they'll get the dollars to do that. But it's a big impact, and everybody loves having everybody here in town, and it's a great thing.
Now, last year, do we have last year's champion here for the barbecue cook-off?
The grand champion, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. There are a number of national national barbecue cookers that are here, and it's a neat thing.
All right.
So anyway, I just wanted to stop in and say hey, and encourage everybody to come out next Friday night for the home opener. That'll be
absolutely.
That'll be fun. So always have big crowds for that. So I know you have the coach on later. So anyway, have a great day. Enjoy it, guys.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks.
Mr. Mayor. And with that, we're gonna jump off and go to break. And we'll be back here at Corey Leonard Shelter Insurance, downtown Lincoln. And we are back. The cheap seats, downtown Lincoln, right in front of Corey Leonard Shelter Insurance. Speaking of Corey Leonard, morning.
Morning.
Special guest on here, one of our expert cook-off. No,
we get some head shakes.
No, I'm getting kind of looked down here. Corey, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Good.
Checking all this out. This is quite the event we got in downtown Lincoln here, huh?
It is. They've done a really good job putting this together. Second year, and they've already grown it, by about 15 more teams, I think, this year. So, I mean, it's a great event for Lincoln.
And you guys were here last year as well, right in front of us, I believe.
Yep. We were set up here last year. It's the first year we competed last year in anything, and we enjoyed doing it. It's nice to be able to do it here in town.
Oh yeah.
A lot of these guys come from all over, and if you forget something at home, you're just without it.
Yeah.
We're lucky enough to have everything nearby, so we don't have to worry too much about that.
Well, that was going to be my next question. How many events have you participated in? And I think we got the answer. This is your second. Now, what kind of things do you guys grill? Are there different categories, and what's kind of the process to get to your product to the judge?
Yeah, KCBS, which is the sanctioning body for this, it's the Kansas City Barbecue Society. It's a 4-category event. We've got chicken, brisket, pork, shoulder or pork butt, and ribs are the 4 categories. So you've got an hour and a half time window. You start to turn in every half hour, and you've got a 10-minute window. So when you've got 4 different pieces of meat like that, it's kind of a challenge to have a 10-minute window for a piece of meat that might take you 10 hours to cook.
Right.
And then you've got 4 different things that are all different. So, managing all that at one time, it's a challenge. And
you said you competed last year. How did the different meats go for you last year?
Last year we were pretty happy with the way things turned out. I mean, with the competition level here,
it's pretty high.
Just to be able to place in the top half would be excellent.
Yeah.
There's professionals here, hardcore guys that do it every weekend and are really good at what they do. They can produce a consistent product that's going to be great every time. You know, we're backyard guys. I mean, we've studied it, and we do good for what we are, but we're up against some stiff competition here, and that's great. I mean, you get a chance to go against the best in something like this. It's awesome just to be able to compete with those guys.
Well, I'm sure it's kind of fun to talk craft with guys like this. You go around. I know, and the different things I do whenever there's events and stuff like this, you get to talk to the other guys, and they may not tell you their secrets, but they give you little hints.
Yeah, I mean, most of these guys, if you go up and talk to them, they're great. I mean, they're not conceited. They're not, they're just normal guys that do this, and they're just really good at it.
Yeah.
And, they'll give you tips. Obviously they're not going to show you the recipes and stuff like that. But you'd be surprised questions you can ask them that they'll just give you a straight answer on, about things that they do and their techniques. They're in it for fun, but they're great at it, and they're going to win. When they're giving events, but they're not afraid to share secrets and share their techniques because, that's probably how they learned. They had people that taught them, and they learned by doing it, and they're happy to share that information with somebody that's starting out.
It looks like you got, a 3-man crew here?
Yeah, we pretty much go with three guys or do most of the work. We have some people that they show up and do a little bit here and there, but there's 3 of us that do pretty much all the work. Now,
is it all 3 you kind of sharing the work, or are you 2 you like carrying the load? I'm kind of looking here and wondering.
We have individual tasks that we're good at, I guess. So, we kind of have our specialties, and without all 3 of us, I don't think it would be easy to do. But I think the fact that all 3 of us are good at different things, we kind of mesh well together, I guess, in that aspect.
Well, they say practice makes perfect. Are there a lot of weekend get-togethers where you throw some stuff on the grill just to practice or perfect your what you have to present?
Yeah, it's always fun to practice for this competition. I mean, you get to eat some great food just by practicing. It's different to cook recreationally and actually do a practice for this, because you basically have to set up and do it just like you're going to be here. You have to set your time. You have to kind of be anal about the way you're setting everything up and make sure that it's done the way you would do it at the competition. So to do that, I mean, it pretty much takes a weekend. So,
right.
All 3 of us getting together for a weekend just to practice is tough. I mean, we don't practice as much as we should. But like I said, we're in it for fun. We're just happy to be here and be able to compete with these guys.
Do you know how many local judges there are?
I know that when they started this event, they had a KCBS class, and I'm not sure how many people that took it, but I know they've had it 2 years now. So I know there are enough judges to put on this competition.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think they try to get some people in from out of town just to get some more experienced judges. Guys that have been judging for years. It's good to have one of those. There's a table captain at each table, so it's good to have one of those guys there. So I know they have enough local people, I think, to judge the whole competition, but they bring in some guys that have done it for a while too.
Very nice. What's the plans for the weekend outside the barbecuing event? Anything downtown here for you?
Well, we're probably going to go out and see the balloons tonight, take the kids out. The Balloon Fest, lots of stuff going on in Lincoln, of course.
Boy.
You know, we got the wine festival, we got the art fair, we got this going on, we got the balloon fest.
There's a wine festival.
Yes, there's the Art of Wine, I believe it's called, that they had the tent over here right next to us last night.
And what would you do in something like that? I'm unsure about.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you just try out some wine and see how the day goes or the evening. So
what you're saying is there's local Illinois vendors set up inside of a small tent where you can go in, partake in some sampling for a small, I'm sure, donation of some kind, and then maybe walk away and purchase some bottles from said local wineries.
Right. Yes. That's
I've never heard of such a thing. It is a good time in downtown Lincoln here. Just so much going on. Like you said, what time is the judging and whatnot? When's a good time? I mean, obviously any time would be good for people to come downtown, but when's a good time for people to come down here and start checking out all the stuff on the barbecue?
If you want to see the action, get down here between 11:30 and 12, and you can start walking around. That's when guys are going to start putting together their boxes. You have a turn-in box for each category. Yep. It's all the same box. It's numbered, so it's double-blind judging, which makes it more fair for everybody. But you'll see guys probably 11:30 to 2 o'clock is when everybody's going to be prepping, getting their stuff actually in the box and turned in.
Okay.
I think 12 o'clock is our first turn-in time, and then it'll be every half hour for 4 half-hour periods after that.
And now I'm sure since you're a local guy, a lot of people know you, they come up and ask, you guys don't do samples on this. There a couple barbecue guys that are selling their product, right? But you guys don't sample. You guys are just getting stuff ready for judging, right?
Right. There are vendors here that are making some good barbecue down on the end of Pulaski Street, down at the end of the block here. The people who are competing are competing.
Yes.
I mean, you know,
it's a competition. It's not a, you know,
we don't first of all, we don't get we don't have to get inspected by the health department in order to serve food to the public. We would have to do that. There are, I think, a couple of vendors here that are competing and vending that have kind of done everything they need to do that. But the competition guys, I mean, they're making it just for the judges to eat. You know, it's unfortunately something that I don't think we're really supposed to give out samples for the health reasons.
Is there any kind of prize money for each category? Because I'm sure some of these top-notch cookers, they're not coming here just to do it. Is there some kind of reward or prize money?
Yeah, it's this year they bumped the purse up actually to $15,000 is the total purse. So you know, there's each category I believe pays 10 places. And then the overall, I think it's $3,500 to the overall winner, and then they'll pay down 10 places in each event plus the overall. So there's a substantial amount of money here, and that's really the reason that we have so many good teams here, because they were able to get donations, get sponsors, raise enough money to get a big purse to bring these big guys in.
Well, some of these guys are from I think there was one guy, so it looked like he's from Texas. So, I mean, they travel for this stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is a big deal to them.
Some of these setups are just amazing.
Unbelievable. There's one guy, it looks like he has a outdoor party going on with big screen TV, stereo system, laser lights. I mean, he's got the whole ball of wax going.
Yep.
I don't know how that affects the flavor of the barbecue, but I tell you what, it looks cool.
Yep.
Presentation, I guess.
Well, some of these guys, I mean, if you're going to compete for points, they live on the road. I mean, you have to be in an event every weekend to compete for the point standings. So, these guys are going to rack up some amenities to keep their weekends fun while they're doing this. So.
Yeah, a couple of the trailers they got, you can tell they're camper/barbecue haulers. Yeah. So pretty unbelievable.
This is kind of the NASCAR of cooking, where they accumulate points throughout the year, and then the top point getter is there.
Each event is individual, so you can come to an event and compete, but the KCBS sanctioned cook-offs also accumulate points throughout the year. So it's kind of like the Cup. You're going after that point standings if you want to, but in order to do that, I mean, you have to be there every weekend.
Yeah, that's.
So, what's next on your agenda after you're off the radio here?
Well, we have a little bit of time here. We're about to put on chicken shortly. The chicken's the last thing to go on, and it's the first thing to come off because it's the first judge category. We've got that ready to go. We'll probably take the ribs off here and unwrap them because we do a foil process in that.
The chicken's out.
We'll unwrap that and get those back on so they can get a good crust and glaze on them. And then our pork butts, they're about ready to come off. We'll foil them, let them rest for a couple hours, so they're ready to go. And then it's crunch time. We get up to 11:30 and we're on crunch time where we're getting stuff ready and trying to get everything planned out ahead, because you don't have that 10-minute window. If you are 1 second late on your 10-minute window, you're disqualified.
Oh boy. Now, are you as proud of your meat as your teammates here?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question, I guess, but we make a good product, I think. Like I said, we have fun doing it, and these guys are professionals and we're backyarders, but I mean, to taste it, you would say that the untrained eye, I guess, would taste what we produce and be like, wow, that's great, that's got to win. But then you look at the fine details when you got 44 teams, and there's not much that separates 44th from first place. But these guys that do it, they know all those little tricks, and that's what separates the men from the boys, so to speak.
Well, Corey, hey, we appreciate you stopping in right in front of us here. We're in front of your building, so we appreciate the awning covering us up a little bit here, knocking the sun down a little bit.
It's a nice day.
We're here again in front of Corey Leonard Shelter Insurance, downtown Lincoln, for the barbecue cook-off. A lot going on in downtown Lincoln. Come check it out. We're going to take a quick break, and hopefully when we come back, we'll have the coach